We've got one of the most attractive mid-size crossovers you can buy today, and now it's got a turbo. Let's go for a drive. This Mazda CX-5 is right in the middle of the most competitive segment, at least in this part of the world, the mid-size crossover segment. I think every manufacturer has something that competes with this CX-5, but with Mazda's driver-first philosophy, this should be a standout, at least for driving enthusiasts like us, so we need to have a look at this in some more depth. Thankfully for me, because I like power, what's under the hood of this CX-5 is Mazda's 2.5-liter turbocharged Skyactiv G 4-cylinder. On 93 octane fuel, it makes 250 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 320 pounds of torque at 2,000 RPM. Very cool. If you want to run it on inexpensive gas, it'll make 227 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 310 pounds of torque at 2,000 RPM. There is only one transmission, a 6-speed automatic, thankfully not a CVT like some of the competitors, and of course this one is equipped with all-wheel drive. The chassis is a unibody, of course. Suspension is McPherson struts up front and a multi-link rear. Brakes are larger on the turbo model, 320mm rotors front and 303mm rotors in the rear. Steering is electric, of course, and the assist unit is on the column in this car. Wheels and tires are 19s with 225/55 19s, but we are in winter mode, so we're on a winter Pirelli. GVC or G vectoring control is, of course, standard equipment, and it's a subtle, very cool thing. We've covered it in previous episodes if you're curious. Interior is very premium. In this top spec, there are no shortcuts. It's very, very nice inside. This one uses Mazda's previous gen infotainment system, a little different from that 21 Mazda 3 Turbo we just drove. It does have Apple CarPlay, which remedies the whole system. Curb weight of this particular model is about 3,800 pounds, and it'll actually tow about 2,000 pounds if you need to tow something with your CX-5. It's that time in the episode for how to spec your Mazda CX-5. Base price in the United States is $25,270, and that's for a front-wheel drive 2.5 NA Sport trim. In Canada, it's $28,500 for a front-wheel drive NA 2.5 in GX trim. That's probably a Quebec special, as we call it here. The beauty of the CX-5 is that there are plenty of trim levels to suit your budget and your requirements, and there's a lot of stuff that you can actually put into one of these CX-5s, like this one. This is the 100th anniversary special edition in Canada. It includes a model of the first Mazda road car and a book on the history of Mazda. It only comes this way with the white paint and the red and white leather. This snowflake white pearl paint is actually listed as a $200 option, but it's the only way you can get it, so I'm not quite sure why it's a $200 option. This is effectively a signature model. It's fully equipped with every feature, including the 2.5 turbo and the all-wheel drive, and lots of 100th anniversary details, of course. We are in winter mode, of course. It should have red floor mats, but we've got the winter mats instead. How do you spec your CX-5? Well, the good thing is you've got plenty of choice. If you want a front-wheel drive one, well, you only get the 2.5 NA. If you want an all-wheel drive CX-5, you can get it in front drive or all-wheel drive with both the 2.5 NA and the 2.5T. The 2.5T seems to be the way to go, which we'll get into, but you've got lots of options. Other than this 100th anniversary special edition here in Canada, I do think you need to spec it in red. They look beautiful in red. Mazda's done a great job with that beautiful paint, and that is the final word on your choice of paint color on any modern Mazda. The red just looks fantastic. So with CX-5, I do think you probably want to go with one of the top spec trims with the 2.5T and the all-wheel drive, especially if you live where I do, where there's already snow on the ground. This is one of the rare occasions where I don't fit perfectly in a Mazda, and I think what it has to do with is the relationship of the pedals to the seat, because you are seated higher off the floor, and the steering column, unlike most Mazdas, doesn't come out far enough. I'd like to get this steering wheel a little closer to me, because right now I feel that the pedals are a little bit close. Most drivers aren't going to notice this, but on this channel we know we're very much about the driving experience. Otherwise, the steering wheel is fantastic, pedals are placed appropriately, and first and second level ergonomics are very straightforward because Mazda knows how to do driver-oriented interiors. Certainly one of the highlights of this interior is the instrument cluster. It's so clearly laid out. It's refreshing to be able to use something as straightforward and as easy to read as this. As well, this particular CX-5 has a heads-up display, which works great, except when you wear polarized sunglasses, as I do during the day. Right now, it's nice and bright, and of course, you can adjust the position and brightness, but it is in the perfect spot for me. I can read it clearly when I've got my eyeglasses on, when I've got my sunglasses on. Well, it's not perfect. Kind of got to tilt my head to get that brightness up through the polarized lenses. But otherwise, this interior is very straightforward. The climate controls are simple. This one, of course, has automatic climate control, so it's a set it and forget it thing. And of course, this one has heated seats as well as ventilated seats, which are great in the summer. And of course, visibility is excellent as well because you're sitting tall. That's why people buy crossovers, at least one of the reasons that they buy crossovers. And with 360-degree cameras, this is very easy to park. Speaking of which, I think for a young family, this is right-sized, at least in a city where I live. This just fits everywhere, goes everywhere, and of course it's a crossover. You sit a little taller so you can see over cars, which is fantastic for visibility. And of course people buy crossovers so they can feel more comfortable and a little safer. The front row is very spacious, no problems here. Although I think the only awkward thing is maybe that the cup holders are back here, and if you drink water like I do, well, you gotta reach back instead of maybe up here, but I understand why it's here in this interior design. This cubby is great for your phone and all sorts of other things, and otherwise the front row is fantastic. The second row, well, I can fit behind myself, behind my seating position, but I think that second row is best for smaller children. Cargo room under the hatch is great. Lots of space there. No trouble at all carrying whatever you need. And of course, what I love are the quick releases for that second row, so you can throw that second row down fairly easily from the back of the CX-5 instead of having to crawl into the back doors and fold those seats down, which is great. This infotainment system isn't the latest and greatest. I think that is in the 21 Mazda 3 Turbo that we recently drove, but it is remedied by CarPlay, which works great. Love it for that. But otherwise, I'm not a fan of using it on its own. This 2.5 turbo engine changes the game with the CX-5. I think it's probably the most powerful in the segment, and that helps out tremendously because it's got all the get up and go you could ever want for a mid-size crossover like this. And the 250 horsepower and 320 pounds of torque, well, that really rounds out this package. It's a very capable platform, and that power just suits this perfectly. You can get up to highway speeds no problem. All of the acceleration is there when you need it, and it's paired perfectly with the automatic and the all-wheel drive system, as I've been able to drive this in some winter weather, and it's worked wonderfully as a package. The best thing about this engine is that abundance of torque. It's just got a massive plateau of torque from such low RPM. Anytime you need some acceleration, it's just leaning into the throttle. And the best part is the transmission isn't hunting. It's not dropping a couple of gears. You can really hold gears and then ride and accelerate on this wave of torque. It's fantastic in that way, and that's something that many of the competitors don't offer. Certainly, I was pleased with the way Mazda's active all-wheel drive system worked, especially in the snow. There was no issue with traction. And of course, we are on winter tires. Steering is direct and precise. There's not a lot of feel or feedback that comes through the steering wheel, and that's to be expected. This is a mid-size crossover. It's not a sports car, so don't expect a lot of feel and feedback from the steering wheel, but that's okay. It is still very direct, very precise, and I've had to drive this thing near its limits just for the purposes of testing, and steering is more than satisfactory. On the other hand, brake feel is excellent. It is remarkably good. Of course, Mazda knows how to do this, and braking, whether it's regular braking or emergency braking, you've got great control over the CX-5. It is excellent in that regard. Handling, on the other hand, well, it is a crossover. Again, not a sports car, not a sedan, and expect a vehicle that responds with a high center of gravity. But compared to its competitors, which I've driven over the last few months, well, this is a little bit more rewarding to drive as a package because it steers reasonably well. The brakes are great, and handling is pretty decent as well. Sure, there's a modest amount of grip, but we are on these winter tires at the moment, so not a tremendous amount of grip. This is designed to haul people and their stuff very comfortably, very quietly, but my concern is always with that first level of safety, which is how the car responds, and I feel perfectly in control anytime I'm driving the CX-5. One of the highlights is how quiet and comfortable this CX-5 is. Of course, the interior is very premium. We know that Mazda does great interiors, but it's very quiet in here, and that makes for a much more enjoyable driving experience. Helping that is ride quality as well. The thing is, with Mazda suspension tuning, they never really get it wrong. It's like they've got the secret sauce to make any car or crossover ride and handle well. So ride quality is excellent, handling is excellent for a crossover as well, but I'm impressed with body and wheel control over rough surfaces. It does a great job. The dampers are just conventional dampers. They're not adaptive, they're not the adaptive type, and they do a great job controlling body and wheel motion, and at the same time providing a high level of ride quality. It's very enjoyable to drive, if you're cruising with your family. Again, not an outright sports car, and it's not supposed to be. And sure, it does have a little bit of body roll, but that's expected. But overall, based on my recollection of driving the competition, this is one of the more satisfying crossovers you can buy today. I think it may very well be the driver's midsize crossover. My verdict, well, let's start with fuel consumption. I've been able to get about 22 miles per gallon or 10.7 liters per 100 kilometers here in Canada. That was primarily a lot of highway driving, but the winter has started here and there's been a lot of snow on the ground, so I would have expected to see a little bit better fuel consumption, but on the other hand, I don't mind enjoying all the power of this 2.5 turbo. That said, this Mazda CX-5, I think, is very much the driver's crossover. Certainly in this segment, it's much more satisfying to drive than other crossovers in the segment. That has to do with the way it's designed. Mazda, of course, builds cars for drivers. It's much more satisfying with that 6-speed automatic versus a CVT as well, and that's one key consideration. But otherwise, it's got all the features, functions, everything you could imagine. And if you're looking at something in this segment, definitely check out the CX-5. Thanks for hanging out with me today and having a look at this 2021 Mazda CX-5 with the 2.5 liter turbo. This is the 100th anniversary special edition here in Canada, and it is a special edition. So if you are a Mazda fan and looking at something like this, you might want to look at this. It's pretty cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, well, you're not new to YouTube. You know what to do. Smash the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, like this video, and as always, sharing is caring. So please share this with your friends, and we only have one ask on this channel, which is to share it on Reddit. That helps us out tremendously. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you want to support the channel, please hit up our merch store. Links here, links below. You can get lots of great stuff like our Save the Manuals merch. That's our most popular line. And of course, Mazda still builds cars with manual transmissions, so kudos to them for doing that. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again next time.